Welcome to the Next Drink podcast. Back after a week off. Special episode this week. Probably do these for the next month or so. As always, this is your host, Adam Brzezzi. Tonight, I'm joined by my close personal friend, Michael Grassa, who is a draft diehard, I guess I'd call him. Mike, how are we doing tonight? Welcome to the
I'm good.
podcast.
How you doing, Brewdog?
Doing good. So, me and Mike own a dynasty fantasy team, and every year we're going deep into the weeds on the rookies, and this is usually more around August when we're drafting. So I know he does his research going to the draft. Told him months ago once it got to draft season, we'd be lining up in some of these episodes. So I think the plan will be today we're going to deep dive into potential wide receivers for the Patriots, kind of talk about their room right now and what they might be looking to target the next couple of weeks. Now that we know how free agency shook out, probably do an episode looking to the edge prospects, maybe like some O tackles. I mean, we're definitely more inclined to look at skill guys, but I think the way this offseason broke out, I have to think they're taking an edge in the first couple rounds. I don't know. What do you think, Mike? What did you think about the offseason and where they're at right now?
I mean, I actually love what they've done so far. I love the like middle class signings that they've had. Like to me, I'm actually very high on Dobbs. I love the fact that they got like an inline X receiver because to me, I feel like that's like a that's a spot that's like not it's not sexy. You're not gonna get like a ton of production out of that spot, but I feel like it's when you have a guy who actually can do that, it makes it easier for other guys in the rotation. So I feel like it's a good start in terms of making their like basketball team wide receiver depth fill out. So I actually was a pretty big fan of the Romeo Dobbs signing. And then I feel like they had a bunch of other middle class signings. Like I even like Julian Hill, like the backup tight end that they got, like having like a inline Y tight end bruiser is like such an advantage right now as like the league moves more towards attacking these shell coverages. Um, who are some of the other signings that they got? I'm kind of
Yeah,
blanking.
I think it was. I think they definitely went towards like a let's make our team a better run team. Let's make us tougher. So they got Hill, who's obviously a good run
Yeah.
blocker. They got the kid Reggie Bernard from the Bills, a fullback,
Who's
and then
is it?
uh,
Isn't it Gilligan or something? What's his?
Gil. What did I call him?
You said Reggie Bernard, but I forget. It's not Gilligan. It's something.
Reggie Gilliam.
Gillian,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's Gilliam. Yeah, I don't know where I got Bernard. That's on me. And then the Vera Tucker signing too. So I mean, right away, like up front, I think they're gonna be much better running the ball. Now,
Yeah.
obviously, when they got to the playoffs, focus on the offense, they're gonna need to do more with this pass catching group. I mean, I think Dobbs similar enough player to Diggs at this point in his career. Maybe not as good as Diggs was last year, but it'll probably be better going forward.
But I feel
But
like he does different things too than Diggs. Like I
yeah, he
feel like he
does.
wins differently than him.
He's a better
Which
red zone target too.
yeah, which I like, which I actually kind of interests me because I feel like you can kind of Diggs last year, who I loved. I loved how he was like a baller and like a go-to guy on third down. I feel like that kind of fell off more towards the end of the year. But the routes that he was running, the degree of difficulty on those routes, I feel like you can make up for it more than you can for like what they're getting out of a guy like Dobbs. So like I like Diggs the player better, but I actually like them filling that role with Dobbs for the contract that they got him too. I feel like it kind of it gives them more flexibility to address the position than they were before they made that change.
Yeah, and he's obviously a lot younger too. Uh and I wouldn't be shocked if Diggs is back. So he's still unsigned. And
Yeah, that would be cool.
if they don't get Brown and Diggs is just like, yeah, nobody really wants to pay me anything. Like I wouldn't be shocked if we get to like June,
Yeah.
Brown thing doesn't happen. So I think starting off the Pats receiver draft talk, it's like the big question is AJ Brown. There's definitely a chance. It sounds like that they kind of have like a post June 1st trade locked up for Brown.
Yeah.
But and we've talked about on the pod, I'm not like dead set on them needing Brown, where like I think there's more risk than people kind of
Yeah.
are assuming. Like he's got some knee injuries. He's in his late 20s. this league, guys don't stay in their prime all that long. And I mean,
Mhm.
you're talking about giving up a first round pick next year potentially. And that's where it's tough for me to like conceptualize with the Eagles, where it's like
Yeah.
they're not going to do it before June 1st because of the money, the cap hit thing, right? So they're not going to get a 26 pick. But then you got an Eagles team that's looking to win the Super Bowl, and they're going to give up their best receiver for 27 pick. Like, I don't know if that makes a ton of sense for them. But
It
at the same time, and for us, it's like the 27 draft, everybody's saying is like an all time draft. And we might not be as good this year. Like, there's a chance we're picking top 15. Like hopefully not. But I don't know. It's tough. Like, I'm not like that confident that the trade's going to get done.
I think, like, addressing the lot like, both lines and the interior actually is more of a priority than addressing receiver, like, I mean, obviously, like, having AJ Brown would be sick, like, it'd be amazing to have just, like, a dude, um, but I I'm trying to think.
I'm gonna be excited if they get AJ Brown, and I've been talking them down.
Yeah.
Saying it's like if they say like, hell yeah, we got AJ Brown and Drake Maye, let's go. But I
Oh,
think I'm a little wary about like if it actually is. I don't think it's like a slam dunk that it ends up being this awesome trade if they get it done.
yeah, and the and also, I feel like what people are forgetting about too is the cap hit that you have to pay him too, so it's not
Yeah,
like you're just, you're giving up draft picks, but you're also, like, getting the right to pay him, and like I said, I like where our receiving core is right now. Like, I think we have a lot of flexibility, and I feel like we have a lot of pieces that fit. And if you just like keep throwing like darts at it, I would rather doing that than like spending money on that position actually.
money and
Like,
picks. So it's like you're
yeah.
20 million in cap, 25, 30 million in cap space, and two valuable picks. I mean, I
Yeah.
definitely think in the playoffs it felt like guys weren't getting open, but it also felt like we couldn't block either.
Yeah. Well,
And May just didn't play well. It's tough to say. Like, I'm not sitting there watching all 22. He didn't play well. I did feel like there was some.
yeah.
I think if they don't go Brown, I guess. So here was my next question. So like, all right, if he comes, I don't think they're going to draft a receiver in these top 4 or 5. Like they're not going to probably draft any of these guys who
Yeah.
we're most focused on today, except some of these late guys maybe. But
So
if he
sad.
doesn't, it's like, who do we think they need to go for? I think they need to go for somebody who gets open. Like I think somebody who's like this guy creates space. There's a lot of guys in this draft though that I think are like big downfield targets.
Yeah. I mean, I would love a guy that actually gets yards after the catch. Like, I feel
Yep.
like we have nobody like that on our team, like Booty. Like, I feel like he's good at, like, finding places in space, and he uses his strength really well, but he's not really an after the catch guy. Dobbs, I he's kinda similar to Booty, actually, in terms of how he gets open. Like, I don't see him much as an after the catch guy. Hollins, no. Like,
Williams is
Kyle
like
Han Kyle Hamilton, yes, but he's
Williams.
just like Kyle Williams, jeez. On my notes, I have Hamilton. Um, but he's just like running like 800 miles per hour, and I feel like his route tree did not look very polished last year. And like Douglas, I think his like size was kind of a problem for him last year. Like that play against Pittsburgh where he didn't get the first down, that
Oh
was
my
all
god.
because of his like his stature. Um,
I
so
don't even know if
I
he'll
would
be on
like,
the team, to be honest. We're just named 5 guys,
I mean,
and you're
yeah,
looking to acquire somebody else here. So yeah,
that's true.
that
I
is
didn't
that
think of that.
is somebody. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it's like a yak guy who gets open, and Booty.
This
I feel like Booty might have some of that, and they didn't like utilize that. I'm just not really sure.
well, that's why I like getting Dobbs, because if Dobbs can play the X, then that kinda gives Booty, like, more room to be the Z and to actually play off the line of scrimmage, and I feel like it kind of, like, enhances his game a little bit, so but I would love, like, a go-to man beater, uh, and there's some guys who I feel like are, like, aren't bona fide first round guys that still kinda carry that pedigree, um so I'm excited to talk about them, and then, like, maybe this is just, like, nostalgia for the Brady days, but can we just get, like, a Welker, Edelman, like, 3rd down, like, just gets separation quickly at the line of scrimmage, runs option routes, like, I mean, is that too
Is
much to ask
Chisholm? Is
for?
it Chisholm?
Like
Chisholm gonna make the team?
I'm not I feel like Chisholm's a little robotic in his
He's
movements.
not as
Like,
quick.
yeah. But also what I was wondering too is like, does Drake May like will he actually like is that valuable for May? Because I do feel like in the past with Brady, he valued receivers that like get open and get separation and are smart. But May throws guys open, so like their physicality is much more valuable for our receiving core than it was in the past. Like guys who can actually win 50-50 balls, like that matters now in a way that it didn't before. Um
Yeah, I think it remains to be seen how May can work with a guy like a slot guy like that. He obviously they didn't run much of a screen game this year either, like they did
yeah,
with the Brady era.
there
So
was no
yeah, I think
screens.
before we get into the other thing I was thinking about when you were talking was like with the Kyle Williams and the Booty, like those guys are still young. Booty's still only 23.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of like
Yeah,
what this
that's
room looks like
crazy.
is it's like, do these guys develop? Like, can Booty get better? Can Williams become like a wide receiver too that can score a bunch of touchdowns and make big plays? Like we saw glimpses of it, but he's got a big season coming up.
Do you see Booty developing? Like just
I like Booty. I don't know like if he becomes like a star, but I think he can be like a solid. I think the way I look at this group now is it's a bunch of good twos and threes.
yeah,
But I think, and that's why the Brown trade does make a lot of sense. Is it's like just get that one to take the like he can be your go-to guy.
yeah.
Where like a lot of these guys in the draft feel like solid twos and threes, but like, and you can find a one not with the top 10 pick. Like you look at across the league, so many of the star receivers weren't
Oh
picked.
yeah.
Even like Justin Jefferson wasn't a top 10 pick. Puka was
Yeah.
a fifth round pick. AJ Brown was a
Yeah.
second round pick. George Pickens was a lot of these guys weren't going at the top of the draft. So I mean, like it's funny looking at this list. Like some of these guys that are gonna go the top three receivers, one of them probably won't be that good. One of these guys who goes in the second, third round is gonna be a stud. It's just you gotta find the guy. I was listening to another Pats pod the other day, the Pats chat pod, and they were doing a breakdown of like of picks 30 to 33 over the past 10 years because they're talking about a Brown trade, like who actually ends up getting drafted there. And you've got
Mm,
like 50% bus, a
mm.
solid like 25% stars, and like a few guys who are just like superstars, like Lamar Jackson goes in that range or TJ Watt, right? So like that this first round pick they have, you certainly could get a really good player. You get a really good player later on, but you also might get somebody who ends up not being any good, like a N'Keal Harry, right? So
Mm. Yeah.
um, but yeah, let's jump in. I mean, we've kind of got like the top three tiers, I think, to receivers. That's kind of going off Todd McShay's board. I know you have your own stuff too. And I think we kind of want to more focus on guys we might actually see in New England. So
Mm.
the first tier, I mean, Carnell Tate, Ohio State, he's going to go
I
top
love that
10.
guy.
Yeah, he's going to
I
be a
love
stud.
that guy. Although he only ran a 4.55, which kind of scares me because he's such a vertical, like he's such a like all of his he's always moving vertical. Um, so the fact that he ran a 4.55 would worry me a little bit because I see him like a Chris Olave who ran in the 4.3s, but I like he's cool. Like some of
NFL.com
his
comps him
catches
as
are
Chris
cool.
Olave. Yeah,
Oh, really?
Ohio State's just pumping out receiving talent these days too. I mean, he's going to go. He might go like 6 overall. So he's not going to be a guy we can get. Makai Lemon,
I love him too.
USC. He'll probably go top 20. I mean, that kid. Like, these kids are good, man. They're not like Jamar Chase top 5 pick good, but
Yeah.
like this draft has a lot of good talent. Jordan Tyson, he's starting to get some might fall in the draft talk about some injury stuff. I mean, that's a kid like so 6'2", 203. It's about to turn 22. Big, good ball control, gets open. Um, he's just got like legitimate wide receiver one potential, but he's probably not going to be available. I mean, I don't know. What do you think about him?
So when I was first watching his highlights, I was kind of out on him. So he was at the big board that I was working from. He was at the top of the list. And so I watched him and I was kind of like, this leaves something to be desired because I tend to gravitate towards guys who are creating separation, and there was a lot of contested catches in his highlights. I mean, they were amazing. He looks like he plays like a basketball player out there. But there was just like too many contested catches. Um, but then as I kept going through the tape, I started to notice, like, he has, like, incredible, like, almost like a sixth sense out there on the field. Like, Greg and I used to, talk about Edelman, that he was a Jedi,
Mhm.
just because, like, the way that he moves, like, Julian Edelman, Jedi, Devontae Adams, Sith Lord. To me, Jordan Tyson moves like a Jedi. Like, his movement patterns are so fluid that, like, he has, like, star potential, like, capital STAR, star potential,
Yeah.
which, like, if you I would love, like, a go-to guy, 3rd down, like, we gotta have it, like, I feel like like, that is in the cards for him, so I have gotten higher and higher on him the more I've watched him. Um,
Yeah. What struck me too is like, all right, 21 Pittsburgh, they're looking for a receiver. 23 the Eagles, if they're gonna move Brown, they might take a receiver. 26 the Bills. I mean, they obviously just traded for more, but I could see them going to get somebody. Um, the Chiefs at 29, the Dolphins at 30. So there's a lot of teams picking in front of us that need a receiver. I don't think he's
yeah.
fallen to 31. So
Yeah,
that's kind of the top three, right?
my range of outcomes for him was, like, Michael Wilson to, I mean, not Jamar Chase, but, like, a little, like, in between Michael Wilson and Jamar Chase. Um,
NFL.com said Terry McLaurin. I thought it's pretty
that's a
similar.
pretty good one.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a little more creative in his route running than, uh, Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, no, that's fair. So the next tier, and this is kind of like what you're just seeing
You don't
draft
put
guys say.
you don't put Concepcion on that tier?
I I don't the just kind of I'm kind of going more like consensus draft guys who they're
Yeah.
so my next guy, the guy I would love to see us get is not
You
Concepcion. I love Omar Cooper Jr.
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
he's starting to get like taught like early 20s buzz. I mean, so he's the kid from Indiana. I mean, he was Mendoza's favorite target. He's like more like a Z, which I think we could use. He's not like incredibly big. He's not incredibly fast.
He's
He's just a
strong, though.
football player. Yeah, like that
Yeah.
kid is a tough bastard. He's good after. He's a yak guy, like we talked
Oh,
about. He's a
yeah,
guy you give
that's
him the
yeah.
ball and make plays. It's so easy for me to envision him being Drake Maye's go-to guy for the next 8 years.
I mean, he fits perfectly into the Stefan Diggs role. Like,
Yeah,
to me, like, he is playing the Stefan Diggs role when he joins this team, and he's gonna do it with less. I think Stefan Diggs has just, like, a nose for getting open, and I think that's something that like, I didn't see him as, like, this incredible separator, but when the ball is in his hands, he is making something happen. Like, he's a problem with the ball in his hands. He's a running back when he has it.
yeah. They
Um,
comped him with Debo Samuel on NFL.com.
yeah, yeah. I think yeah.
I almost see him as more of like a good receiver. Like I think his
I
route
see
running is
him
good.
he's less of a gadget guy than, Debo for sure. Well, I mean, Debo would sometimes not be a gadget guy, but yeah, I I see him, like, kinda in between, like, the Diggs and Debo. He kinda has, like, the shuffle feet that Diggs has when he's running.
Yeah,
Like, have you ever noticed how Diggs kinda, like, shuffles his feet?
yeah.
He kinda does that too. Uh, and then, like, yeah, he just has football instincts.
He made the play in the season too. It was like 4th and goal, see like undefeated season line Indiana, and he made just a crazy toe tap catch in the end zone against Penn State. I was watching. I didn't know at the time that he was a big draft prospect, but the more I'm kind of digging into is I mean, if they took him at 31 and said, screw AJ Brown, this is our guy, like I would be totally satisfied with that. I think that'd probably be the best use of their resources.
Yeah,
Um, so the other guy you mentioned, I know Cal's high on him, is Casey Concepcion from Texas A&M. He's a bit smaller. He's more of like a slot guy, good in the intermediate areas.
yeah.
Touchdown scorer, 31
But
TDs in 3
he
seasons.
weighed in at 196, which is kinda
Yeah, he's
crazy. Like, 6
small.
feet, 196 is, but I was thinking he was gonna be smaller. So I was very happy to see that. I was like, "Oh, okay, he's not friggin" who's the guy on the Rams? Well,
Tutu.
now he's on my yeah, he's not Tutu Atwell out there.
Yeah. So McShay was. I listened to McShay talking about these guys. I love listening to McShay. And he was saying Concepcion going in the middle, he gets a little skittish, doesn't like he's good when he get the
Yeah.
ball, but he doesn't like to catch the ball before getting hit. He's one to me. The more I looked at earlier on when I was looking at him, I was like, yeah, I could see this. The more I looked at this next tier though of like the round two guys, I don't necessarily think he's much better than any of those guys. What did you think?
I thought just his separation ability, like, really, I did think that he did separate himself from that way. Like, he is so incredible getting in and out of breaks, and he is so violent with his cuts and his jukes that, like, I really, like, I'm attracted to that separation. And to me, like, him and Omar Cooper are actually good foils for each other because Cooper, like, wins with strength and, like, football instincts. Concepcion kinda wins with, like, just he's faster and quicker than you and, like and just, like, the more, like, talented guy in that way. So it's kinda like a preference of style. The only thing that
Mhm.
worried about me with Concepcion is, like, I love Kadarius Toney's tape, and he looks a lot like Kadarius Toney. I was obsessed with Kadarius Toney. Just his movement patterns was very similar, which, like, is so, like, it makes you want, like, it's so intriguing to look at, but how effective will it be is my only concern with him.
Yeah, I'm not sure Kadarius Toney didn't work out because of his talent. I think he's a bonehead.
Yeah. That's true, but he also, like, he was a guy that didn't really run any, like, vertical routes. Like, his whole route tree was, like, screens in college. Most of his tape were, like, punt returns, and same thing with Concepcion.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, and then I think I could certainly see them picking him at 31. I wouldn't be surprised.
but actually, that's a good point because guys like Carnell Tate and Jordan Tyson, I feel like they kinda changed the, like, when you get those guys, the offense kind of forms around them. I don't know if Concepcion's like that. I don't know if he's actually, like, changing, like, he might be a complementary piece in your offense, but does your offense actually, like
Yeah, I don't know if he becomes like a star receiver.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then the other guy who I think could become a star receiver is Denzel Boston. So he's at 6'5",
I
212.
don't know what to do with him. Like, he could be a star or he could be JJ Arcega-Whiteside. Like, do you remember
Yeah.
him? He was,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
like, the big guy who came, who the Eagles drafted in the 2nd round. But, like, also, he could be, like, just a man amongst boys out there. So, like,
Yeah, he's a
I feel like
beast.
he has a wide range of outcomes.
Yeah, he's David Boston's son. Uh I like him. Like he's another guy. If they took him at 31, I wouldn't be shocked. I'd be happy with it. I definitely think I like Cooper more because yeah, there's a chance like he's big. There's a lot of these big guys in this draft. I feel like big,
Dude,
tall, downfield guys,
a
which
lot of
May does
long
seem to like.
yeah, no, that's actually a really good see, that's why I'm saying, do I have a bias for these, like, short, quick guys who create separation? Like, is that actually necessarily who we should be drafting? Because May likes to layer the ball. Like, he's not throwing line drive lasers like Brady does. Like, he's layering the ball, like, into, like, windows, like, 20 yards downfield or down the sideline. So, it's a different type of receiver that we should be targeting than we used to target. Um,
Yeah, but I guess
m
the question is like, do we already have some of those guys? Like we have a Mac Hollins, we have a Dobbs, we have a Booty.
yeah, I mean, but
But
Mac
yeah,
Hol
it's a
like,
little different. Yeah, it's a little different.
you shouldn't not draft a guy because you have Mac Hollins there.
Yeah, totally, totally. And if Boston hits, he could
Yeah.
be like a legitimate like he's your wide receiver one. He's a go-to guy in your offense that defenses have to game plan for because he's like he's a monster. Like he's got that potential. But yeah, he seems like he has a high floor and kind of a lower ceiling in a way.
So, I did not like DK Metcalf when he came out, which was stupid by me. Just because his route tree was so limited. It was drags and vertical and, like, and fades. But he honestly has made that work in the NFL. My only worry about Denzel Boston is that DK Metcalf was a track star on top of being a physical freak, and Denzel Boston lacks, like, breakaway speed. He didn't
Yeah.
run the 40, but he did run the shuttle and had a pretty good time for his size. I think he ran it because he knew he was gonna have a good time. But, I mean, he's a much better contested catch guy than, DK Metcalf, and he uses his body really well, and he has this, like, huge hands that he's a hands catcher, which is, like, necessary if you're gonna be relying so much on the contested catch. But his speed does worry me that, like, he went I put him below Cooper for that reason, actually.
So how do you rate those three? Concepcion, Cooper, Boston.
I go I went Concepcion, Cooper, Boston, um, but I'd probably be just as happy if we got Cooper as I would with Concepcion. Like, Cooper's game is just fun to me. I love a yak guy. That'd be so fun
Yeah,
to
I
have.
think Cooper fits like the what we're missing the most.
Cooper's the safest to me,
I think
honestly.
yeah, I think he's gonna be really good. I don't think he's gonna be there at 31 though. It might need to be a trade up.
Really?
Guess you never know though. I don't know. They predict all this stuff, but um so yeah, but I think that's kind of like what like the draft community is looking at is like your second tier of guys. And then this third tier is pretty big. And I think this so Todd McShay today, he said he thinks there could be 14 receivers drafted in the top 2 rounds of the draft this year, which would, I think, be a record. I think the record's 13.
Wow. Are we going
There's a
through all
lot of
14?
we can touch on at least our favorites of these guys. The first
Oh,
guy I
dude, we're
saw that
going
I
all
like,
14.
the first guy I like is Antonio Williams out of Clemson. He's
Oh,
on the
yeah. I
small, he's
mean,
small.
if you liked Omar Cooper, you're gonna like Antonio Williams
Yeah.
because 'cause they're very similar.
He's 5'11", 187. He's a good runner. He's a tough guy. He's getting a lot of like screens. He's getting a lot of reverses.
He's a
Um,
football player. He's got
yeah,
great football instincts.
yeah. And he's a
And
guy
he's
like
a
I don't.
yak guy.
Yeah, so he's a guy like I don't know if he'd be there. What the 63 their second pick? Like if they took an edge in the first round, took Williams in the second round, it's like sure this kid fits. He may not be like a breakout star, but he could certainly be another good piece of that receiving core. And May does
Yeah.
like the I guess we talk about like all the wide receiver one. May loves spreading the ball around.
Mm. Um, yeah, well, that's actually a good point about the wide receiver one is like sometimes when you have a wide receiver one, your quarterback might lock into that guy too much, and it actually can be a negative. And so when you have like a well-balanced, like well-oiled machine, then like there can be advantages to that. And Antonio Williams is definitely like a great complementary player to have on your team, especially for
Yeah,
what we need right now. We don't have a guy for the slot.
yeah,
And it's different. He's different than like the Welker or Edelman type, but that actually might be good.
yeah. NFL.com said Lad McConkey is his top. I can see a little
Oh,
bit.
yeah, I could see that.
No,
I
it's
had
another
a
football
bad
player.
I had a bad so some of my comps are more how they play rather than whether they're as good as the person or as bad as the person. In this case, as bad. I
Yeah, yeah,
saw a
yeah.
lot of Dontavian Wicks in him, which Um, I fell in love with Davian Wicks when I was like deciding if I should pick him up on waivers or not. Uh, I think he had like a big game on Thanksgiving and then he did nothing after that. But I was like, this
Something
guy's
there. Yeah, no, I like Williams. I'm gonna say when we go through this whole group, I want to see who you like the most. So, the next guy that I think a lot of guys have maybe going late first is Chris Brazell from Tennessee. Another 6'4", 198. A lot of these guys are like really tall and really
also
skinny.
b- uh, sorry if I keep interrupting. It's because I get so excited about these guys. Whenever
No,
you
no, you're
name a
good.
new one, I'm
You're
like,
good.
oh
That's what you're
my
here
god.
for.
Uh very, like, super productive, like, 62 catches, 1,017 yards, and 9 touchdowns. That's crazy productivity.
Chris
Um,
Brazell?
yeah, especially for how he wins as a guy who's, like, again, he is someone that is always moving vertically. And, like, I and in a good way, like, all of his routes are just, like, vertically inclined, even if they're, like, a 15-yard pass, he is, I love to watch how fast a guy eats the space between when he takes off from his route and the cornerback, and he is putting so much pressure on the cornerback so early in the play. Um that's kind of his superpower, and he's amazing at tracking the ball too.
Yeah, I think you summed him up pretty well.
But the thing is, uh, what I was wondering when I was watching him, like, how well will this work in the NFL, especially with, like, shell coverage being a thing? Like, because he's so vertically inclined, does that actually limit him?
Yeah, the comps they had for him were Christian Watson, which I don't know if we need a Christian Watson in our offense.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was he kinda reminded me of Mac Hollins, honestly.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that. That's actually a pretty good,
So it's like you
comp.
say, you don't necessarily not draft the guy because you have Mac Hollins, but I don't know if that's the guy we need to add.
There's also other
Next
guys late who do the same things that he does.
yeah, oh, yeah. That's what I'm saying, there's a lot of these this like, going from Williams down to, like, the whole list you sent me, like, we got, like, 20 guys on this list that are just like, all these guys could be and, like, all these guys could be good players, and I don't think it's crazy to say that, like, a lot of these guys
Yeah.
end up being good players. Like, guys go in the 5th round and end up being good players their rookie year in the NFL, so I don't
The
think there's, like, a
the
wild difference between them.
Yeah, right, yeah, yeah. The one thing that he does different than some of the other deep threats that we find is he has, like, amazing body contortion, which, for someone who's 6'4", I feel like that's really impressive.
Yeah, yeah. Next guy, Gurmy Bernard, Alabama, 6'1", 206. Really
I'm a
quick, big
big Jeremy
target,
Bernard fan.
gets open, good with the ball in his hands. I don't think he
Yeah.
was as productive as the highlights looked like, because that was one of my notes.
Yeah, he only had 862 yards, 7 touchdowns, which isn't bad, but I agree. He was actually, a guy that was low on the list that I was working from, and, like, when I saw his highlights, I was like, "What the fuck? Why is this guy this low?" Um, I mean, for him, like, he is just so fluid. Did you see that when you were watching his tape?
Yeah, McShay had him right behind Brazell, so
Okay.
he's. I mean, you know, but some of these guys are all over the place. The way this
Oh,
tier of
totally,
guys, they
the
kind of have
I
them all
was
over.
I was, using Walter Football, so, we know how those lists can
Yeah,
go.
yeah, yeah, all over the place. But yeah, I mean, this kid, he's another kid that you see an NFL receiver when you watch him. But is he like? And I actually kind of think he might be a good complement to what we have now too.
Oh, he's a guy that can play inside and outside. He's very comfortable running, like, horizontal crossing patterns. Um, doesn't challenge the defense vertically as much as you'd like, but has an excellent feel for zone coverages. Like, I feel like he has, like, he's great at finding holes and kind of sitting in them. He makes things look effortless, and he's actually pretty good after the catch too. So I'm very high on Jeremy Bernard. I feel like I had him lower than Cooper, but he's a less violent Omar Cooper,
Yeah, a
I
little
would
bit less
say.
productive too. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I think, and like, it's just thinking of like down. Like, we do have a lot of downfield guys right now. It's like Williams, you
Yeah.
kind of think downfield. Hollins gets downfield. Booty gets open downfield. he would dom. So some of these guys, yeah, like the yak guys are kind of what I would try to go for.
Yeah.
Um, Next guy, which I don't think is very similar as far as like a yak guy, is this kid, Zachariah Branch out of Georgia. He's tiny, man.
Oh, yeah,
5'8",
Zach yeah,
177.
yeah.
Like flies, but certainly can get open, but
Did
I
you
don't
watch his
know.
tape?
Yeah. I've watched all these guys like a little the last couple days, but I was kind of like cramming it in. I was coming back from vacation, obviously. Um, so some guys I've watched more, but I remember I just look at him, I'm like, this kid is little. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know how many guys have been successful NFL players at like 5'8" or smaller.
Yeah, that he's a little too small. Also, his tape was, like, so many passes behind the line of scrimmage, which, like, is great. It shows again that he can actually, like he's good run after the catch, but 1, he's so small, like, how well will that translate in the NFL? And then 2, I I I think if I'm drafting a slot guy, I want a guy who, like, I'm seeing is, like, getting separation quickly and, like, amazing against zone coverage and finding those holes, and I did see a little bit of that, but I wasn't like, "That's what this guy does,"
Hmm.
and so that's why I kinda bumped him down my list. I mean, all of these guys, when you watch them, they're fun. So, like, you kinda have to rank them relative to the other guys being drafted, and that kinda bumped him down for me, is that
Yeah, and
that's not what he does.
I think we're typically looking at like highlight tapes too. It's like, what does he not do well? Where does his
Yeah.
I'm surprised he's that high on a lot of these draft guys' sheets. It's like, yeah, he might be able to make plays, but he's just so little, dude. Like, yeah, he
Yeah.
might be able to take a slant and go to the house, but like, I just like, who has been, who have been like awesome NFL players in the last 20 years who are like 5'8" at that position?
Yeah.
And I don't know if May will do well throwing to a guy that little either.
How tall was Welker?
I think he was a
5'10",
little
5'11"?
taller. Let's see, 5'9". Yeah, he's probably the one. I mean, he
I
was
Welker's
special.
thicker than this mu than this than this
Yeah. Oh yeah.
than
Oh
this
yeah.
little brat.
Yeah. Um, Next guy, I didn't do a ton on him. Chris Bell from Louisville. He's a guy I think people think he's really talented. He tore his ACL late in the season, though.
Yeah.
Do you like him?
He's a different type of receiver than like, I felt like his skill set actually was pretty unique amongst the group because, let me just find him in my notes, but actually
Yes.
he's, first of all, he runs, um he runs a lot of deep crossing routes, just, like, running from, like, hash to hash. He's more of a he's a possessive guy with, like, incredible speed and athleticism, which actually is, like I feel like is pretty unique. Um he to me, he plays similar to Kyle Williams, like, did you know that, like, Kyle Williams runs all of his routes at 100% speed, and he is just,
Yeah.
like, out there flying. Like, a lot of the plays that he made on his tape reminded me of Kyle Williams' touchdown against Tampa Bay, where, like, he just has, like, an in-breaking route, just runs by the d like, runs, like, in front of the defender, makes the catch, and just, like, bolts up down the sideline. Which I actually looked at him as very valuable as like a role player in offense because I feel like not only is he stretching the defense vertically, but he's also stretching the defense horizontally.
Hmm.
He kind of adds like like a little bit of like freneticism to an offense that I feel like we don't have right now. Like Booty doesn't really do that. I feel like he kind of claims a spot on the field and like that's where Booty is. Mac Hollins is kind of like either straight or like right angle.
Yeah. Well,
um,
that's what I think you got to hope Cat Williams can bring this season.
yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's what
the
you
thing
meant.
with
Yeah. Okay.
Chris Bell is he's doing that at 6'2", 222 pounds. So
Yeah.
like you see that with like smaller guys. He interested me a lot. The fact that he's coming back from an ACL though, like kind of scares me a little bit. He
Yeah.
um
He
and
definitely has
he
some more of that high upside than some of these other guys, I think, of like, with this kid, like, he might go to 60th pick and end up being like a star.
Yeah, I see him as like he's bigger and faster than this guy, but like a Jaden Reed. Like I feel
Yep,
like
see that.
he'll be very valuable to an offense. Even even when he's not necessarily the guy catching the ball, but I feel like um he'd be a great number two.
Yeah, no, I think that's spot on. Yeah, I mean, obviously, the ACL is like these guys come back from that well.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit a few
He
more. So,
also sorry, the way he runs like comeback routes is crazy. Like he is coming back to the football at full speed. It is um so I thought he was I was higher on him than when I first started to watch him actually. He was a guy
yeah,
that kind of grew on me.
yeah, could definitely see him being a guy they go for. I think he'll be pretty good. The next guy I really like this kid is Dion Burks. So he's 5'10", 5'10". These kids are small. 5'10", 180 is
Yeah, this is a
not
you
that
guy.
big, but he's a
Yeah,
slot guy, crazy athlete. Like, he had the most bench reps of the combine. He's just like 4.3 speed. He had
short
huge games,
arms.
100 plus his short arms. He's 100 plus yard games against Bama and Michigan. His QB play when John Mateer got hurt was kind of all over the place. But I kind of almost saw like some Tyreek Hill of this kid.
Yeah, I will say though he doesn't challenge the defense vertically. Like everything is
Like that.
horizontal.
Yeah.
He has like incredible like his route running is incredibly crisp. Like he is so quick in and out of his in and out of his cuts. He has like very loose hips, great footwork, great spatial awareness. He just doesn't challenge for his speed. He didn't challenge the defense vertically enough for me. He has short arms, which is probably why he can bench so much. Um,
Yeah.
but honestly, the fact that he benched the most actually makes probably adds him to up my big board. Also, Jordan Tyson had 26 bench press reps. Um,
At 225.
yeah, I was like, dude, this guy that actually made me be like, I want like
That's
that
crazy.
added points for me.
And I think one thing to note too, like as much as you're saying this kid didn't have vertical routes, sometimes it's just the quarterbacks don't have that in their arsenal
Sometimes
at
it's the
this level.
offense too, yeah.
Yeah.
But he only had 620 yards and 4 touchdowns as their number 1 receiver there.
And the kid
That's kinda
Mateer was the
sketch.
quarterback was a Heisman candidate for half the season and he got hurt. That is,
Oh,
yeah, I don't
really?
know. I just watching his tape, his highlights, it's like, whoa, there's some plays here that kind of jump off the screen. But yeah,
D
there's a reason
it
he's going late round two and not round one.
his measurables are ridiculous, like,
Yeah.
he to me, like to me, he reminds me so much of Matthew Golden last year. Although I did think Matthew Golden was a little more vertically inclined than him, but, like, he was also, like, a combine superstar, but was a little bit disappointing production-wise.
Yeah.
Um, but I do I I do like him too, and he sometimes I feel like he almost runs a little too quick for the McDaniels offense though. Like I didn't see him
Burks.
like yeah, I didn't like if he played slot for us, is he like sinking in like is he running like option routes? I don't know. Like I feel like
Yeah.
his cuts were so crisp.
Yeah. He's a unique player. The next guy, Malachi Fields from Notre Dame. So he's a big
Yeah.
boy. He's 6'4", 218. I guess he crushed it at the Senior Bowl. Really good on
Which
contested
I like.
catches.
The fact that
Oh
he
yeah.
crushed it at the Senior Bowl, it means a lot actually, because he's someone that like you could talk yourself into him and talk yourself out on him.
Yeah. I could see kind of both ways with this kid. Like sometimes with these big guys that are like contested catch guys, I just thinking of Kill Harry. I feel like we're a little scar
Yeah.
from that. But there's
I
some plays
he's
there where it's like,
bigger
this kid
though.
looks like a stud. Yeah, this kid's a big boy. He hacks the ball off a catch point, gets open down the field, scores touchdowns. Um, I'm like conflicted on do we need one of these like downfield guys or not, honestly. Because I feel like
I
May likes
know.
throwing to him.
I
Um,
know.
what are your
It
thoughts
is
on
a
him?
Um, so I was very high when I initially watched his tape because, his fade routes just, like, jump off the screen, like, he is bullying guys out there.
Yeah, absolutely. He's
He only
huge.
ran a 4.61 though, which scares me. He's a, like, he had an incredible vertical, which kinda explains why he's just, like, mossing these guys. But his acceleration into was so slow, so it kinda took him a while to pick up speed. My comparison for him was Kelvin Benjamin. I feel like that might be, like, a
That's
little too on the nose, but, which, like, he was, like, a good player for a little bit, but I don't know. Malachi Fields, I kept moving him down my board, um, the more I kept, like, thinking about it, and actually, the more I started seeing, like, these long stride deep guys come up on
there's a
highlights,
lot
I
of
was
them.
like yeah, I was like, "I can keep moving this guy down."
The next one is kinda similar, and so the long stride deep guy, Dejuan Stribling from Ole Miss.
Oh, yeah.
6'2", 207. He's a burner. Apparently a really tough kid. And there's another guy who just gets open behind the defense.
Yep. Yeah, and he has, like, a net so, I actually like him more than I like Fields because Fields has to, like Fields has to actually make the contested catch. I feel like Stribling knows how to get open deep. There's a difference there, like, Fields is
Yeah.
just beating the guy at the point of attack. Stribling is actually beating a guy before he has to catch the ball at the point of attack. Um,
He ran a 4.3.
yeah, so
This kid can
that's why.
fly. Yeah. I mean, I saw a mock today where they had him going like 35. Like these kids are all going to go. Like, everyone we've name dropped so far could be dropped, picked within the first 45 picks, which
Yeah,
it's a lot of guys that we've name dropped so far.
yeah.
Uh,
But
but yeah, I mean, if
he's another guy that doesn't get great in and out of his cuts. My comp for him was Darius Slayton.
that's that seems pretty reasonable. I think your comps have been off the nose so far. Um,
I
yeah, he's
some of
just
them get a little wild.
this one, and then so that I think the last guy I had that could go in those first couple rounds is Elijah Sarratt from Indiana. I like him.
That's my
So
boy.
I don't know if it's because he's wearing 13 in red, but he looks like a little Mike Evans out there.
Dude, uh, that is my boy. I feel like we're all sleeping on how much of a monster this guy is. Do you know his story?
No,
First of all, he's nicknamed Waffle House because he's always open. So a guy at 6'2", 210, his nickname is Waffle House because he's always open. I feel like you get that nickname at practice,
yeah,
which means he's dominating at practice. He was a zero-star recruit and went to like a community college. From there, he went to, I forget, somewhere else. And then from there, he went to James Madison and he dominated with James Madison. And then that coach went to Indiana and
yeah,
brought him to Indiana. And he just had 65 catches, 130 yards, and 15 touchdowns.
yeah.
15
I mean,
touchdowns is crazy.
looking back, they got the number one pick in Mendoza, and then they got him and Cooper in that offense. I mean, and apparently they
Yeah.
have another kid that's still there who's awesome too. Might be better than both of them. So Indiana
Oh,
becoming
really?
this
Wow.
powerhouse is wild. But yeah, I watched him and I was like, give me this kid at pick 63 if we don't take a receiver in the first round. Even if we go get AJ Brown, there's a lot to like. So he's not a burner. He gets open, like you said. They call him Waffle House. I mean, he's a champ. Um,
Yeah.
He's not like a yak guy, but yeah, I saw like a 6'2" Mike Evans that I'm watching. Obviously, Mike Evans is like 6'5", but I just feel like he's just making tough catches. It doesn't matter where, like, it just doesn't even matter. Um,
Also, he's not a yak guy, but when he has the ball, he does run with violence. And
yeah,
that matters to me. Like if he is punishing defenders, that to me, like that's always like uptick in my book. He uses his strength really well. Like he's actually a very disciplined route runner. He like he has he's a little tight hipped and lacks breakaway speed, but he runs like a great variety of route tree for somebody who's on the outside. Um,
I
and
feel like this kid's gonna be a really good NFL player
I do too. Yeah,
wherever he ends up.
I'm very high on him.
He's one we're
Like
locking in for dynasty.
if we drafted him in the second round, I'd be doing backflips, to be honest.
Patriots
Yeah, I would.
in dynasty.
Yeah. Oh, and dynasty.
Yeah, yeah. This kid. I mean, dude, what a team they had there. Those two kids. Those two, like, they might be my two favorite kids that on this whole list for like
Yeah,
value wise. Like, obviously the guys
yeah,
at the top, but I would love either of these kids in New England. So
yeah. Another thing about him is on the highlights, he was talking so much shit after every time he made a
yeah,
play.
yeah, oh yeah.
Um, so I love the energy he brings.
Okay, so I want to hit a couple more of the guys I stood out of the list you sent me before we go. I'll just give you a couple more sleepers you want to go over. I think
Okay.
Bryce Lance is really intriguing.
Uh, Dude.
North Dakota State, Trey Lance's little brother,
Yeah.
6'3", 204. I mean, it's tough to it's tough to. It almost felt like when you're watching like freaking Giannis when he was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
coming in the draft, and it's like, all right, this kid's just way more athletic than everybody else playing
yeah,
in the FCS. He's just running by people. But I mean, I think at the combine he had a 99 athleticism score. He's
yeah,
big, he's
99
fast, four
percentile.
three. Yeah, he's it's like you don't really need to see. He's not the competition makes it tougher to evaluate, but that's one where he could get him in the third round and ends up being a star.
I also like that he's dominated 2 years there. It's not just like 1 year of production. Like his production was insane, 1,079 yards and 8 touchdowns. And I think he had 1,000 the year before. But yeah, he's literally just running by everybody on his tape.
And he did
Um,
like nothing the first couple years there either, which is interesting.
yeah, which is strange, but
You just never know with these kids. Especially these kids are 19 years old, you know.
his route tree was like you really only saw verticals and wheels, but I mean, he what his tape reminded me of, and it's probably because he went to the same school. I don't know if this is necessarily who he plays like, but his tape reminded me of Christian Watson, of like he looked like a man amongst boys out there.
Was
Um,
it was Watson North Dakota State?
I think so.
It was Notre Dame. Oh, he was North Dakota State. Yeah, wow. I don't know why I thought Notre Dame. Yeah, no, I mean,
When
sometimes
when
that is what it is.
Bryce's yeah, when Bryce's name showed up, uh I was like, "Oh, another fucking Lance? Yeah, fucking right." And I like immediately like threw him down at the bottom of my list. But then the more like I've been actually digging into it, I've been like, "Oh shit, actually I feel like he is a guy that like you can get in the third round who like you don't really know what you're like you got it's a lottery ticket like that.
He's
I
the
feel like
biggest
that
wild
is
card. Yeah, he's the
yeah.
biggest wild card of the draft, and he like there's definitely star like he looks like just like such a pure awesome receiver. Why does he go to
Yeah,
North Dakota State? He's like, oh, I'm gonna follow my brother who hasn't been there for a few years. Like, why?
I guess
This kid had
maybe.
no business being at North Dakota State. He looks so much more athletic than everybody else.
It's actually crazy. What was weird too is like his releases were so easy and he was literally just running by people.
Yeah, it's all like, oh, he just sprints past the defense for like a 50-yard touchdown. So
But he did have really like elite level tracking. So, I mean, that was pretty cool to see. And he also had an elite shuttle time, and I love guys who have an elite shuttle time.
yeah, the athleticism is off the charts in all
Yeah.
aspects. A couple more I thought were worthy. Ted Hurst, Georgia State, another one of these tall burners. He's 6'4", 206, really skinny. He's a receiver, like 99 percentile broad jump, big
Yeah, I'm up there.
strides, a lot of drops. Definitely something different if we went with him at some point in the draft.
I um I was interested of I actually liked him more than I liked Malachi Fields and some of the other long stride guys because I thought he was more fluid for his size. Like I actually saw like the potential for a Nico Collins here.
Hmm.
Another guy though playing at Georgia State, so I don't know how the competition was, but he had 71 catches So, like, 71 catches, that's a lot of catches for a 6'4" receiver, 1,004 yards. Um, he had, like, great burst for a long stride
Mm.
for a long strider. He seemed like he was the best of those guys at beating press coverage. He had some good breakaway speed after the catch too. I mean, maybe that's because of the competition too, but I was really impressed at how he can get in and out of his breaks for a guy his size.
Yeah,
Um,
he's definitely more of like a project, I think. But
yeah.
like a fourth, fifth round ticket, like you said, like some of these guys on this later list are going to end up being really good.
I mean, like, Nico Collins, I remember when he was drafted and, like, he was not I feel like for the first couple years, he was just kinda seen as, like, a guy, like, filling in, and then he kinda just he broke out, and I see a lot of Nico Collins there, actually.
Yeah, and Nico was a third round pick. The last guy I had that I thought was interesting that I looked at was Eric McAllister at TCU. Was another one of these tall lengths, 6'4", 194,
Yeah.
1,200 yard, 10 touchdowns this season. He had a 254-yard, 3-touchdown game against SMU. 4 or 5 speed, high character guy. Not a great route runner. Not a great. He's got kind of a limited tree, but like a project that there's obviously something there. Like 6'4", speed like that, you can't really teach.
Yeah, so 72 catches, 1,190 yards, and 10 touchdowns, like, he's doing
Yeah,
something right, and then here are my notes on him. He's a body catcher, he rounds his routes, he's not great on short to intermediate routes. Why do I love this guy? Weirdly, when I was watching him, like, he, like, is doing a Randy Moss impression. Like, I can't describe it, but his movement patterns look like Randy Moss. I'm not saying he's Randy Moss, but I would like, he would be a fun guy to draft for that reason. He sets up corners so well on his deep routes. Like, I thought he was the best deep threat in the draft, actually. Now all those other things he doesn't do that well. But Randy Moss too was a body catcher. Like, I feel like he was always like catching the ball like this.
yeah.
Um,
Randy had
uh,
good hands, but yeah, I mean,
no, yeah,
there's a
it's
lot of these deep 6'4", 200-pound guys who just get open behind the defense in this draft, and like one of them's gonna end up being really good. You know what I mean?
I
Like
mean, it's not by accident you have 72 catches, 1,190 yards, and 10 touchdowns, and your best game is against the best competition. Like, that's
in TCU, yeah, TCU just plays good competition. Yeah, I mean, there's something with this guy, and yeah, there's so many guys here. So
I know. And
anybody,
he's a reason why, like, I'm lower on Fields, I'm lower on Brazil, um,
even like Denzel Boston. I mean, Denzel Boston's got a little bit more
even
to him, but
but yes, though, yeah, when you kinda, like, put it in this context, I do feel like I do feel like there are guys actually later who do different things than Denzel Boston, but some of those things I'm more excited about than what Denzel Boston does, honestly.
yeah, no, yeah, the speed, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Anybody else? I mean, I know you had a few more guys on the list we didn't cover. Anybody else that you really like that we didn't get to?
Did you look at Skylar Bell?
Yeah, I did. Um,
Um,
I felt like he was similar to Kyle Williams.
dude, that's exactly and I loved Kyle Williams.
Yeah.
Uh,
So I don't know if we need another one of those. That's why I didn't mention if it was like a Pats target.
my only thing with him is he had 101 catches and 1,278 yards and 13 touchdowns. Like,
Yeah, that's pretty
yes, he
freaking good.
might play similarly to Kyle Williams, but does he play is he just a better football player than Kyle Williams? Just because the style's the same doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be the same. And I thought he was the best at, like, side to side cuts, sinking his hips, bursting out of breaks. He routinely was, like, taking slants to the house just because of, like, how quick he was getting out of those slants. He's not his tape is not sexy because his route running is a little mechanical, Kyle Williams. Um, but he also makes guys miss, and he was very strong for his size. So he was a guy when I was thinking, like, he also seems like he can play in and out. Like, I don't know, like, again, maybe I'm falling for the same thing that I fell for with Kyle Williams. My comp for him was, like, I gave him a range from Alameda Zacchaeus to Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
He's also I like guys who are fearless in the middle of the field, and he was definitely, like, showed toughness there.
How about anybody else? I know we're kinda getting at the hour mark right now.
Let's see. What's his name?
So Jacoby Lane looks like a project guy, USC.
Yeah, Jacoby Lane, um, he just plays with a lot of swag. Um, he plays with a lot of swag. I thought he had, like, incredible hands, like, really good instincts. He kind of, like, gave me Adam Suburvi vibes. Like, he kinda like
Not
Adam
sure if that's what we're
Suburvi
looking for.
well, Adam Suburvi at JJ, like, randomly, like, he would make, like, these, like, over the head, like, hook shots that you're like, "Dude, what the where the hell did that come from?" But, he definitely didn't play through contact well, but he was, like, incredibly fluid. Like, I actually thought he was a good foil to Elijah Surratt, where they were both number 2 receivers on their team who played outside for a guy who was, like, more of a slot. And but Surratt won by being, like, big and tough and, like, out physical you, and he had very disciplined route running, where Jacoby Lane was, like, more crafty and creative and just, like, kinda won by feel, but didn't really play through contact, like, so, obviously, I'm gonna prefer Elijah Surratt for that, but there's something to be said with, like, a receiver who plays with the level of confidence that Jacoby Lane plays with.
Yeah, no, that's a big part of that position.
Yeah.
So let's just hear your board in order now that we've gone through most of these guys.
Dude, my board is all over the place, I feel like. Oh, my board is, probably not the smartest board.
Let's hear it.
Alright. My tier 1s were Carnell Tate and Mekhi Lemon. My tier 2s were Jordan Tyson and Casey Concepcion, but I'm honestly moving Concepcion down and Tyson up maybe. My tier 3, in no particular order, but I had Skylar Bell in there. I'm that high on him. Omar Cooper, Denzel Boston, Chris Bell, Elijah Surratt, Bryce Lance, I had in there. Ted Hurst and Gurmy Bernard. Um, my tier 4s were Brazel, McAllister. Oh, we didn't talk about Lewis Bond.
Yeah, we didn't talk
Dude,
about Lewis Ball
how did you not talk about Lewis Bond?
because the Eagles pissed me off
Did you watch him at all?
a little bit.
Did he jump out when you were
I
watching,
didn't watch
or
him much today. Actually, no, I was like doing it during the day, and then I kind of got caught up, and I missed some of the guys at the end of the list.
I mean,
But I know he played for BC. I know he had some big moments.
he to me is like the most Welker-like receiver
Oh,
in this
I've
draft.
got him on my second screen right now. He had a good season too. He almost had 1,000 yards.
He 5'11", 190, just big lower legs, like great frame, like very stout. Cannot run a vertical route for his life, but all short to intermediate. To me, it seemed like he got open the quickest, and he was incredible at just finding like soft spots in the zone. And then I was reading up on him, and they were talking about how he like excels more than anything at option routes, and I was like, this is we got McDaniel's slot guy here. Also, a note that they had on him is that he's fearless to operate in heavy trafficked areas, um, and he's just a chain mover. Um, Also
Yeah,
great contact balance.
I'm watching
So, I
right
mean,
now.
yeah, not great
There's
speed, but
he's
a
a
lot of will
10 yard
there.
and under guy, it looks like to
Yeah,
me. Who'd you
yeah.
have after him?
And
Sure.
these aren't in order.
Yeah.
Um, let's see. Dazon Stribling, Jacoby Lane. Have you seen CJ Daniels too?
I watched like a tiny bit of him. That was when I got caught up when I started watching him. It's
Did you
I used
watch
to
his
work with
like
named CJ Daniels.
did you
Um,
see like his first play on his highlight?
Let me pull it up.
Because it's great. Watch that catch. You're gonna be like, oh shit,
That's what
this
I'm
guy's a
saying.
baller.
We're at like 18 guys and guys that we feel like can be pretty good players. So
CJ Daniels is a slot. He's kind of like I'm
yeah,
not
my
saying he's
God.
as good as him, but he's kind of like a Keenan Allen type. He's a slot guy. He's not like a short, stout slot guy, but he wins with like just crafty route running, incredible hands. He's not like super fast or athletic, but he's incredibly creative in his route running, and also like he's a different type of mover.
Yeah, I'm watching him now. Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something here.
Isn't he?
Um,
He's
yeah,
fun.
they had a good season. They had a really good. I mean, they won the championship.
He wasn't
Um,
super productive. He only had 557
oh,
yards and seven
that's the catch you're talking
touchdowns.
about. Yeah, yeah, this kid. That was. Yeah, that's. I feel like I wish I had like a stat. The stats in college is just tricky though.
Yeah, I
It's
know. I
not
know.
all the same. There's so much different offenses you play on.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're in a loaded offense that's sharing the wealth. Sometimes you get all these targets. Sometimes you get hurt and it doesn't really show.
Yeah.
Um, but I guess like
He-
yeah. So I mean, I think to summarize it all, like for me, I'd love Omar Cooper. I'd love Elijah Surratt. I'd be cool with Concepcion, Denzel Boston, Jeremy Bernard. Like all these guys, I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens. Now, what tomorrow we'll get news they trade for AJ Brown and all this will be moot. Um, I don't know
Can
though.
we
I don't know.
can we go through the list and like see just go by each one and say like is it a good fit for the Pats?
Yeah,
Is it actually a good fit for the Pats?
obviously
Starting
Tate
with Concepcion, because
that tier. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
unless you think Tyson. Oh, sorry. Rounding out that last tier was Antonio Williams and Malachi Fields. I I
Wow.
actually really liked Antonio Williams. I probably have him too in a tier too low here. Oh, and
Um.
Dion Burks was there too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay. So yeah, as for Pat's fits, obviously Tate, Lemon, Tyson, yes. We'll take any of them. Concepcion, yes.
For relative to where they have to get him, yeah, I would still say
Yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. So if we're saying Concepcion 31, I mean, if I'd probably rather go edge there and take one of these other guys. Um,
I would too. I honestly don't think wide receiver is a huge need for the Pat in terms
it's
of as big of a need as offensive defensive line actually.
yeah. Skylar Bell later on would be great. Omar Cooper, if they get him at 31, that's the guy I would take.
I Yeah, I agree. I feel like
Um,
he's the best fit.
just for the fit. Denzel Boston, I don't think he's gonna be there at 31, honestly, but
I'd be afraid if they took him.
I'd probably rather go edge. Yeah, I think I'd rather take one of these other big guys later on. Chris Bell, they get him at 63. I'd love that.
Yeah.
Elijah Surratt at 63. I mean,
We
I'd
need
move up.
him.
I need, yeah, Surratt, trade up 10 picks to get him. Ted Hurst, I mean, he's probably more of a later on target.
Yeah.
Anybody after the third round, like, yeah, sure, I'll take these
Yeah, yeah.
guys.
Sign me up.
Jeremy Bernard, you'd probably have to take in the second round. If he's there late in the second, I wouldn't hate it. That's what they went with.
Yeah.
Brazel, I don't love the fit a ton.
Me neither.
Um, McAllister,
I like
that's
it.
another dart throw later
Yeah.
on. Lewis Bond, he's like a sixth round guy, right? Like, sure.
Oh, I'd be so happy.
Stribling, I've seen go in the second, some of these mocks. That's a guy
I still wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, I wouldn't
I
hate it
love
either.
what he does. Like,
Yeah.
I love how good at what he does. How good he is
Um,
at what he does.
yeah. Lane. Oh, Bryce Lance. And wait, was this? Did
Are
we
we
skip
out on
Bryce
Lane?
Lance? Did I
No,
skip Bryce
Bryce
Lance?
Lance. Yeah, you did.
Bryce Lance, I would absolutely love if they get him in the third round.
Yeah.
That would be like celebrations. Lane, um,
Yeah.
meh. I don't know if I love where they're projected to go. CJ Daniel, where's he projected to go?
I think late. I think he's
Yeah,
really late, actually.
yeah. I'm fine with him late. Um, who's Williams? Antonio Williams. You have him way
Antonio.
low. Yeah, I mean, I'd love him
Yeah,
there
I should
on.
have had him in the tier above, to be
And
honest.
then Malachi Fields.
I'm nervous about him.
Yeah, I think a lot of these bigger guys would rather take the later chances on these other like projected. And then Deion Burks, if they
Yeah,
took him in the second round, I would be fine with it. I guess I'm not as high on him after talking to you about it, but yeah, man. So we're about a month out. Uh, Next week we'll probably tackle some of these edge guys. I don't know if we'll go as deep because I think they're
I
gonna go
can't.
edge high. Yeah, I think they're gonna go edge like first round, if not second. Like there's the thing that's good, I guess, to wrap this up. It does sound like the positions the Pats need help. This draft is good at. Like there's a lot of good edge prospects. There's a lot of good receiver prospects. There seems to be some buzz they could take a tackle late in the first round as like a Moses replacement. I don't know if I love
Mm,
that where the team is now. I mean, I think you do need another guy there, but I think that's just like, why don't we just take that next year?
yeah.
Unless there's like a prototypical right tackle sitting there at 31 and your edge
I
guys are
mean,
gone.
I haven't thought about it that much, but just how they like to me, the problem, like what the issue was last year in the playoffs to me is more of an offensive line problem than a weapons problem. I felt like the even like the Texans game, I felt like our weapons were playing fine. I
Yeah.
mean, again, I wasn't watching the all 22 tape either, but I I don't know. That Seahawks game did not feel like Drake Maye just didn't like couldn't find anybody open. Like to me, he was just like getting sacked even before anything was possible. Like
It
I don't
was like
know.
a it
It's
was like the offensive line messed with his confidence too.
yeah, and I don't know. I was watching Drake May highlights, and while I was watching those highlights, I was like, our weapons were playing great the whole year. Like I just don't see them just falling off a cliff because like the playoffs came around. I mean, I
That's
know
not
you're
yeah.
playing better competition, but even from the Chargers game when they played okay. Like, it was always like our left side of the line is a problem, and
Yeah.
that just got worse and worse. So, I don't know. So I guess it's a long-winded way to say if they took an offensive lineman, I'd be totally fine with that.
Yeah. And like I think we talked about in the pod a little bit was like how we felt about a lot of these position groups after 16 weeks and then or whatever 17 games and then the playoffs is like so different. Like
Yeah.
we would have
Oh my
felt
God,
fine
it's
about Will
crazy.
Campbell. Yeah, we felt fine about Will Campbell after regular season, and the playoffs was a disaster. Even like Trayvon Henderson and like a lot of the rookies really didn't really show up in the playoffs, besides
Yeah.
Woodson. So hopefully those guys can all take a step forward and they can come up with another good draft class here. But looking forward to
I
doing some
have
more draft talk. Yeah, go
one
ahead.
question. Sorry.
Yeah,
Um, is tight end a bigger need for them than wide receiver?
tight end's a huge need. And
Yeah.
that's the thing. There's like four positions they really need. It's tackle, it's tight end, it's receiver, and edge. And I think tight end, you're not going to get Kenyon Sadiq in all likelihood.
Yeah.
If he falls to 31, I'll drive and run the pick in. That kid's a freak, but
Dude,
that kid
he
is
looks like an
special.
NFL street player.
Yeah, so that kid, but I think there's some third round guys that like they're gonna have to hope one of them they can get, maybe even like late second. But again, it's like there's these four spots they need to hit. They got like I'd like to see them do something on like Joey Bosa's out there. Like, can we get him on the cheap to just come in and be like a like just more pieces. I don't know. I mean,
Eh,
I think they must have a lot of faith in their development system. Like you got Elijah Ponder and Braden Swinson still in the program at the edge position that
yeah.
maybe you think they can contribute more because they're like the Draymond Jones signing didn't really move the needle that much for me.
Well, he's not, like, a twitchy guy, is he?
No, he's like big. He came in the league as a D tackle
Yeah,
and then
so
moved
I
out
feel like
wide.
which I
That's
do
what
like
Swinson is though.
because who?
Swinson. He didn't play at all
Who?
last year.
Okay.
Braden Swinson, he was a fifth round pick from LSU.
He's a twitchy guy, you mean?
Yeah, he's like a pass rush twitchy guy. So is Ponder kinda. Like, they both off the line fast, so maybe they think
Yeah.
these guys will give us more time next year, but it's kinda like you got a tough schedule, expectations are raised.
I think where the NFL's going to though, you want got, like, some of those, like, def you want some of those DNs who can set the edge because you're playing so much shell now
Mhm.
that you have less help. So, like,
Yeah.
when you see Craig Woodson, like, coming down and making sticks, it's because some guy up front is doing their job. He's
Mhm.
taking on blockers, and so, like, um, I've actually never really watched. What's his name? Draymond Jones?
Yeah.
I've never actually really watched him, so I might be speaking out of turn.
No,
But,
he's more of an edge setter than Chase on, but he's not as good of like a just put your ears back and go get the quarterback.
I like the process of them going out and getting a guy like that. Although I think
Yeah.
it like, you wanna get, like, a twitchy guy too, but, I like that they shored that up.
Yeah.
Um,
Alright, we'll wrap this
yeah.
up here though. We'll have more draft talk coming the next month. Really looking forward to seeing what they do. I mean, we'll hit the edge position. We'll probably do some tight end at some point. Maybe tight end can be a quicker
I got
episode.
my
We could
guys
mix some
right
stuff up.
here if you wanna hear them.
No, we'll wait on that. We'll keep the audience thirsty for some tight end talk. Thank you, Mike, for hopping on though. This was fun, and
Yeah, this was a
maybe
blast. Shout out Cal and G, I wish you guys were here.
they should be able to get back. Maybe we can get a 4-man going next. 4-man Paul would be interesting, but we could try to make it work. I know G's excited to talk some draft stuff too. So yeah, with that, we'll
Nice.
see y'all next week.
Alright.